y'all, it is Hope at Crafty Hope, and I'm working here in my little junk journal that I made from the Robin Marie Smith Transitions Journal workshop. It's a free workshop. She should still have it up. I'll put a link below to it. This page, I already had a bunch of sprays and stuff kind of in the background, just already on the journal, and I don't really add a whole lot to it. You see, I'm adding a little bit more red and lime green soft pastels, and that's gonna be about it for the color. The rest of it, I add just different media really to this page. Now, it was part of my 100-day project, and I had to use some RickRack. I have an obsession with collecting sewing notions. I love, love, love buttons, and somehow I haven't worked those really into my art journal pages, but that may change here soon. But I've also got all kinds of seam binding and lace and all kinds of stuff, and RickRack because I love RickRack. So I'm going to try to work that into this page. So once I got that soft pastel down and kind of blended it out a little with the wet paintbrush, I'm going in with some Deco Art Media gesso and just spreading it out with this palette knife, and then I'm going to come in with a bamboo skewer, oh my goodness. And I start by doing just some really random lines, and I almost immediately decided I did not like that randomness, that there was always so much randomness going on in the background. I wanted something a little more structured, so I'm going to come back here, patted it back down with my palette knife, and I'm coming back in and doing just some little lines, up and down lines on these pages. And yeah, that works really nicely. It adds so much texture to this page, and I absolutely dig that. So I'm going to get that in there, and I don't know, I guess about here, I realized I didn't back this page with anything so that it didn't get on the page behind it. So I'm going to do that real quick because I'm messy. And then I'm going to dry all of that thick gesso. Now this is the, I think it's the Prima Marketing Clear Crackle Paste. And first thing I'm going to do is, I showed you that, but the first thing I want to do is put down some design tape. This is Tim Holtz design tape, and you'll notice it here a little bit, but with this Robin Marie Smith's journal, she had us use a tape to bind the pages together, and I don't like the hard lines that the tape gives. So anytime you see me using this journal, I'm probably going to be trying to disguise that tape over on the inside edges of each of the pages, because I just don't like that hard line. So I use some of this design tape here to help disguise that. So, and I'm using yeah, at first I'm fighting with that tape because for some reason that one didn't want to stay stuck together, and I couldn't get it in and out the roll. So I like to use this washi tape or design tape kind of in the background when I don't want to do any more collaging, and I just want a little added texture in here. And like I said, other than that red and that green soft pastel, I don't add hardly any other colors to this page. It's kind of crazy, especially for me, that to not, have some kind of spray, or, I mean, I do add here. You'll see I'll add more gesso, but yeah. So I get that down, and then I'm going to go for this clear crackle, and again, grab my a big palette knife. This one I think I'm using a plastic one because it's kind of scraping one, and I wanted to put down some yummy age on here, and I still wanted that the color that was in there to kind of show through, so that's why I picked the clear crackle. But my mistake is coming up here in just a minute. You see I'm putting it on pretty thickly because typically with crackle paste, the thicker you put it on, the bigger the crackles are. So I put it down real thick, and then I decide, big mistake, I'm going to heat dry it. I know better than this. I know that crackle does best if you air dry it, but I was in a rush, and I thought, what the hey, if it's funky, it's funky, and y'all, it's funky. Because that thickness I put on there just ends up being super clumpy. There's not hardly any crackle to it. It was just kind of weird, and not in a I can scrape this off kind of way, just kind of clumpy weird. So I grabbed some black gesso and sprayed it with a little bit of water, and I'm using a baby wipe to kind of go over where that crackle was and into some of the white gesso that's on there, and just give a little age and interest to the page, because I was hoping I could get, get something out of it. And I do get some texture out of it in general where that clumping was. So, but I won't. I'll try not to make that mistake again. I know better. I really, really do. I just, yeah, I don't know. I did grab the paintbrush here because I wanted to be a little more exact in where I put that black gesso down to get the texture, and I really loved like where I put some of those vertical lines in the white gesso is really yummy. So you'll see in the end how that ends up working out, but um, the crackle paste did not crackle the way I had hoped. But it did give some texture, so hey, I guess bright side. I don't know. So I'm gonna move on to the next. I'm gonna go ahead and try this section, and then I had picked out this black and white photo. I have a friend on Instagram. She had a bunch of black and white photos that she didn't want to use in her art and offered them up, and I said, girl, please send them. And she did, and it's I think it's Lopez art. I'll find it. It's Lopez something. I can't think of her handle. I'm really bad about that. If I'm not looking at it, it's hard for me to remember. That's awful. I know. I know. But I decided to just age the edges a tiny bit with some tea dye distress ink and that's a makeup, I don't know, blending brush or something. I don't know. I found it at the Dollar Tree. I've seen some card makers use those, and when I saw them at the Dollar Tree, I was like, hey, craft supply in the cosmetic section. So I grabbed a couple of them, and for $1, it was a deal. So here's me trying to work in this RickRack. I knew I kind of wanted it hanging off the page. I've been digging things kind of hanging out of my journal a little bit, so I played with it, and I couldn't decide if I wanted to use just one piece of it or two pieces of it, and so I decided to go ahead and put a little bit of that tea dye distress ink down on the RickRack because it just was so white. I had that gesso on there, but I had darkened it with that black gesso, so even it wasn't super white, so I didn't want anything to be too stark white, and I really probably could have found some other way to age this reed. Look, see, I got I got frustrated with trying to put it on with that little brush, and just yeah. But I could have grabbed a distress stain or maybe some spray or something like that. That would have been a little bit more effective than using the ink pad. But I had it there, and I figured it's already the same color that I put on the page, so we'll just go with it, and I did. And so here's me playing with those two pieces, and I don't know, what was I thinking? Look at that, that's horrible. So I'm going to put it with the two like this, because I really like the way that RickRack kind of fits in itself like a zipper. I don't know if you can see that, kind of the chevron zippery kind of feel to it. And so here I decided I'm going to go ahead and break out my matte gel medium and just start gluing stuff down. And I'm going to stop messing around with it and just go for it. So in this, I don't know, and this is a little time consuming, and I don't know why. I start by trying to put the gel medium on the RickRack, and I realize that is going to be a nightmare. So I just put a stripe on the page, because once it dries, it's not going to show. So it doesn't matter if it's not exactly in the right place, as long as I get the RickRack down where I want it. So pro tip or something, I don't know. That just worked out a lot better. I mean, I already have enough clumpiness in the background. It doesn't really matter. As long as I can get that RickRack to stick down. So once I get that, I am going to clean it up a tiny bit before I go ahead and put the matte gel medium on the back of my picture as well. See, like I said, it's a little time consuming. I don't know. I guess it's because that that odd shape of the RickRack had me, I don't know, getting a little obsessive about it. So, okay. So I'm finally getting that down, and I go ahead and I put, I've got to make some kind of little weight to weigh things down when I'm drying them. Um, but I let that sit and dry, and I grabbed a couple things. For one thing, I grabbed just some masking tape. I've got the glue on there, and that's really what's holding down that picture, but I thought the masking tape would be a fun little element on that picture, so it looks like it's tacked in, so that was fun. And then I had some little word stickers, and these I think are like Cosmo Cricket is the brand. I cannot find them anywhere. I bought them at Tuesday Morning, which means they probably were discontinued or something like that. So I cut those down so that they would fit in there just right. And I'm going to futz this page a little bit more. I'm trying to think. I add a little bit more of the green. Oh no, first I'm going to do a little bit of mark making. I'm going to grab just a little brush pen and make some little plus signs on there because I needed a touch of black on the page because I've got the black and the white photo, and it needed a touch of dark. So I'm going to do a little doodle to get that black in there. And then in a minute I'm going to come in with my lime green soft pastel and add a little bit, because you see I've got that one green splotch over there kind of in the mid left side of the page and nothing over on the other side of the page. So I'm going to put a little bit over on the right side of the page just to have that limey green yellow on the other side of the page. And then that'll be it for this page, y'all. I hope you like this. I'm trying to get done with these 100-day projects so I can move on to something else. But, that was what was great about the 100-day project, was it gave me a chance to play with all my materials and see how I like them, and how I can use some of these things I've hoarded. So I don't know, I may try it again. I may go through the whole process another time to play with all of these things some more. So anyway, I hope you like this. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and keep on crafting on, y'all. Bye.